1930 saya dilahirkan. Gembira anak-anak kecil, baya-baya saya semua ke laut kan, jadi kita sangat gembira lah.
冇嘢好玩啊！最玩咩？我中意游水。
Not that we are poor, but we are happy.
Bermain bola, bersekolah, mencari buah-buahan dengan kawan-kawan.
When the Japs came, we had to leave with nothing. They took over everything. They didn't care what happened to us, so we became refugees.
Kampung kita ada kena satu orang. Sampai dia plan dia pun kita pun tak dengar.
I'm only 13 years old. I suddenly become a man.
The old Singapore which I know and lived in has disappeared. Most places have changed.
Memories are important. I think it grounds us. I hope my children will remember my stories.
Singapore is a bustling commercial port that stands as a beacon of trade in the Far East. Within its bustling streets, one can find a rich tapestry of cultures made up of immigrants from distant lands, including China, India, and the Malay archipelago. Many congregate in the city centre in search of work and new beginnings. Local residents reside in the idyllic villages that lie on the outskirts of the city, relying on agriculture, livestock farming, and fishing for a living.
Keluarga dari keturunan bapa orang Jawa dan mak Jawa.
我阿公是唐山人，我阿媽是潮州娘兄。
我老豆差唔多10幾歲就嚟新加坡咯，變咗我老豆冇翻到印度咧。
我的父亲他是从中国广东普宁县过来的，1920年来到新加坡。他是找到一份椰林那边的工作，跟人家照顾鸭子的。那个地方如果现在要跟人家讲的很难懂，因为它很宽阔一个地方才有一个家庭嘛，好像7、8一个，要走很遠才可以一個鄰居的。
我哋嘅金邦窿東人又有馬來人，又有星嘅人，又有我哋唐人，又有窿東人。一家人姓變咗佢哋朋友咯，阿馬來人朋友咯。嗰陣時舊陣時窿東好好嘅咧。 朝頭早醫生啊，salamat pagi啊，舊渣早晨咁樣嘅喎，舊陣時窿咩好有禮貌嘅喎。
We children spoke Teochew or English. My father and mother spoke in Malay. My mother's Malay was pretty good because she's part Peranakan. So when they wanted to talk without us knowing what they were talking about, they used Malay. And when you ask them, what did you say? Oh, nothing. So south of my house was Mandai Hill. So that whole area consisted of people who were either Hokkiens or Teochews. My father was the only English-speaking Indian living in that area. They used to come and see my father for help with English. You knew your neighbors. They knew you. Used to meet and then play games. We didn't have friends beyond our immediate neighbors.
我哋6、7歲咁差唔多嘛，呢隔住淡薄有馬來人都喺度啦。我哋嗰度我哋住嘅近邊有一間芒果樹啊，個芒果樹好大個嘅喎，有個大坑渠喎，得個大坑渠係人哋屙屎嘅坑渠嚟喎。咁我哋窿都出到嚟係一出到嚟係望嗰度啦，執餵食啦嘛，睇有冇執咯。有時嗰啲屎啊屙喺度啦嘛，啲屎走唔得去啦，嗰啲芒果跌落嗰啲屎嗰度咯。我哋就咦咁樣揸住，呢度喺嗰度龍膠洗咗翻咗嚟，我哋就食噶啦。喺咯，佢嗰度洗啦，食咗又咁樣抹。一樣啊，好似以前係咁噶。
唔係而家啲人又話污糟又邋遢，唔識噶。後期有得玩啦。冇嘢好玩啦，再玩咩？我中意游水，中意去海水滿咧游水，海水低咧去捉嘢咯。好似嗰啲三星婆捉海底啊，捉嗰啲黐蝦啊，有乜嘢咩，好中意去捉嗰啲嘢。
Jadi apabila orang tua-tua gunakan nyondong ya, dia kata nyondong itu galah yang dipasang net ya, jaring, kemudian kita sorong gitu, kita akan dapat udang. Jadi saya buat sendiri lah macam mana benda itu. Jadi kita cuba melakukannya dan alhamdulillah waktu pengalaman saya menyondong tu dapatlah hasil sikit sebanyak udang dan juga dapat ketam dan sebagainya.
Imagination 啊，好像你觉得可以玩呢，就是你自己发明咯。那个时候是小的椰子跌下来啊，你就拿去玩咯。你把它撕出来了，那个时候没有剪刀什么，可以做很多东西啊，做这个球啊。
Bermain bola, bolanya daripada kertas yang diikat dengan getah. Dan apabila basah, maka berhentilah kita.
如果你不 invent something, what can you play with? 没有啊，没有东西玩啊。
Saya bersekolah agak lewat. Umur saya 9 tahun. Saya baru sekolah darjah 1. Ipar saya namanya Kasim yang mengantar saya belajar di Sekolah Melayu Kampung Jago. Sekolah itu sebenarnya sebuah rumah besar yang berbentuk banglo. Tidak ada sekatan bilik darjah, melainkan sekatannya dibuat skrin-skrin yang agak tidak sampai atas. Jadi kalau tiap pagi, setiap kelas itu belajar membaca, maka jadilah semacam pasar.
一间学校本来是可以40个学生在里面的，不过也没有了，有20-30个这样。老师就是附近的那个，也是潮州人呢，他的华语是潮州音呢，你学的都是潮州音呢。你的父母不是讲不允许你，他的经济管不来嘛，所以弟弟他们要去读书怎么办？你要让开咯。那个时候女孩子没有去读书的，
无类好读，佢哋个找类，无做工佢哋个找类。 我出阿弟啊，咪嘛无人有爱，你想让有爱啊，无啦，艰苦啦，差价啦。
连那个衣服啊，我的爸爸的一年2套衣服最多。
佢細細個就過咗身咯，幾歲佢就過咗身咯。我老豆，佢嚟新加坡愛做工。我老豆啊，我聽佢以前講，13歲嚟呢度做工啦，啊變咗我阿媽捱我哋咯。我阿爸個 office 講可憐啊，佢講佢過咗身，仲有2個仔女點啊啫嘛，俾佢個老婆做工啦嘛，俾我阿媽做工，做嗰啲 office 啦，好似而家你哋 office 咁洗廁所捱我哋大咯。
佢出白面袂曉拖草或者我更較強啊，山頂人嘛，點點焗嘢咧，做了開草皮吼，有哪開一個，咁啊安尼割一個安尼4磅，佢就贏咯。這個阿姐就講，問我講，你會曉做工未？叫我去做，一隻2塊1咧，焗土咯，拖草皮咯。看伊地，看伊平平了，也淡薄伊晒土哦，个也平平哦，啊，了做中央呀，了也草皮就给堵落去，就放落去，安尼敢人买车路咧种草安尼哦。
咁有時嗰啲朋友咧，嗰啲賭錢嗰啲麻雀，嗰啲窿賭麻雀賭到啊，為打痕咗，咁佢就講嚟，同我去買多少油炸龜，買咗翻嚟俾咗佢哋咧，佢哋就俾一個油炸龜我哋食，俾5針，哇！我哋有龜啦，嗰5針唔敢買咧，綁落個手巾，綁落個條手巾驚跌咗出嚟啊！綁落條手巾收埋，成日開嚟睇咧，有冇跌到啊？有冇加撈啊？咁樣。好歡喜㗎，各樣係佢哋係咁咯。
我好咩嘅咧？細個時我成10歲嚇，我成日跟住一個伯爺公啊，跟住佢上山啊，採嗰啲藥材啊咧，嗰啲樹啊，好似而家你有啲白花蛇節草，而家你都有賣㗎嘛？佢哋賣1樽啊，佢生喺嗰啲坑渠啊、嗰啲罅嗰啲咁樣，好得意嘅咧。
Semasa saya mula sekolah di sekolah lain, sebagaimana saya katakan tadi bahwa bapak saya tidak mampu untuk menyekolahkan saya. Saya bilang, Pak, saya sekolah sendiri, saya cari uang sendiri. Jadi saya tadi menjual rokok secara icilan dan juga saya menjadi bekerja tukang jahit, membuat jahit butang lubang. Dan kalau saya dapat jahit 1 butang lubang dengan butangnya 5 sen. Jadi satu hari barangkali saya boleh dapat jahit 10 butang. Kalau 5 kali 10, 50 sen. Jadi untuk bantu pergi sekolah selain dia jual rokok tu.
It was a pleasant childhood of 10 years. But of course, the childhood days ended very horrendously with the Japanese conquest of Singapore.
When 我差唔多5、6歲，我仲讀緊書啊，咁冇得讀啦嘛，一炸彈嚟就冇得讀啦。
When the Japs came, we had to leave with nothing. They took over everything. We were driven out of our homes. They took the whole district for their soldiers. They didn't care what happened to us, so we became refugees.
As a schoolboy those days, I remember going to school at Anglo-Chinese primary school at Coleman Street. Those days 10 cents were more than enough. I could get a plate of mee siam for 1 cent without egg, 2 cents with some eggs, and 3 cents with more egg.
LGS there, the classes were about 30. It was a British school. And only British subjects were allowed to study there. If you were not born in Singapore, Malaysia, you could not study there. The school was very strict. Girls had to sit properly. So if you slouch in school, in class, Miss Goodland would come with her yardstick, stick it down your blouse, and said, "Ladies, don't slouch." In 1941 December, when the British Army came to our school and said, "We're taking over the school for the Army." So we girls had to help push all the furniture out to the corridors to empty the classrooms for the troops.
Saya ingat dalam 10 lebih begitu. Pasal sekolah lagi.
Baru saya sekolah di Cipolein 1 bulan, sudah datang perang. Dan saya ingat sekolah saya Cipolein itu pada satu pagi dalam minggu kedua barangkali telah diserang oleh kapal terbang Jepun. Dia melepaskan sebutir bom di padang sekolah kami. Dan dalamnya kira-kira 4 kaki dan lebarnya 4 kaki. Dan besoknya kami sudah tidak pergi sekolah lagi.
Bombs in Singapore. The great island fortress of the Pacific has had many raids since the Far East War began. Once again, the aggressors attempted new order in Asia, as it was in Europe.
I 記得嗰陣我啱啱5歲6歲啦，咁佢有一個唱一個歌出嚟嘅咧，嗰啲一出嚟我哋個個就要走去咩梁公府嗰度哼佢嘅咧。
我哋就係你唔係嗰啲防空喉咯，所以近住嗰個雙林寺嗰時都有噶，佢哋俾嗰啲人去走難啊，走去避咯。哎呀，嗰啲叫做飛天炮，真係扯起上嚟，你聽到佢一蹦聲猛蹦咁，即係連你個心都扯埋上嚟。唉，你聽到嗰啲聲啊，真係好。
During the bombing and the shelling, a shell dropped right in front of our front door on the doormat. And we could get no help. So my father picked up that shell and went to the empty ground, dug a hole and buried it.
日本喺面打緊交嘛，機關槍打啦，嗰啲走唔得去嗰啲啊，咁樣割個頭啊、手割啊，跌晒個地下噶啦。
as a schoolboy. I roamed about the grassy slopes next to the mortuary. And it was a horror sight of almost 80 to 90 bodies because the SJH mortuary was overfilled and the rest were just laid outside. Many without limbs, some without heads.
The valiant British forces have succumbed to the relentless Japanese onslaught and are now compelled to surrender Singapore, the bastion of the East. Freedom, once cherished, is now a distant memory.
Dalam zaman Jepun, kita kalau dapat makan nasi satu hari sekali sudah cukup baik sekali. Biasanya kita dapat makan yang lain dari nasi ialah ubi. Ubi direbus, ubi dibuat apa juga. Dan saya ingat pada waktu itu saya ikut juga menanam pokok ubi untuk sama-sama orang tua saya mendapatkan hasil lebih daripada apa yang kita harus. Setiap bahan-bahan penting, makanan seperti beras, gula, minyak tanah, minyak makan, semua dicatu. Jadi tugas apa yang untuk membeli? Yaitu tugas anak-anak seperti saya yang berumur 13 sampai 15 tahun. Kami harus beratur dari jam 5 atau 6 pagi, nanti pukul 9 baru dapat. Setelah itu misalnya saya kena pergi ke satu tempat lain mendapatkan beras, pergi ke tempat lain mendapatkan minyak.
有女人去買咯，一斤2角半嗰啲好米有女人買咯。我哋買嗰啲係1角水米嚟嘅，嗰啲米又好多沙，又好多嗰啲蟲飄嚟飄去嘅，買咗翻嚟咁樣薄，又要揀掉咗嗰啲蟲，煲粥食咯。
anh lại coi anh lại kêu lại coi nứng vậy kêu cái chị mà kêu chính tòa xe này ai cái quỷ con là con mày phải nó căng quá rồi.
I heard about the Japanese, so I opened my eyes. I say, are they really that bad? Are they really that bad? It was very bad. It was very bad.
那个时候最怕是日本兵看到你年轻的女孩子嘛，他会抓去的嘞。
2點3點就走嚟樓上，一間拍門。我阿爸同我阿媽俾我哋孭喺個面停卡福建話講面停，孭喺裏頭，着晒嗰啲男人衫，開門俾你睇，有冇你睇？冇辦。
去查問烏哩丹道，我哋查面啦，查到好似個燒冷一樣啊！佢一入到嚟啊，我嘰哩咕嚕，哎呀！我個老豆就驚，話佢捉我啦嘛，係咪？唔知嘰哩咕嚕，同佢講，佢俾佢接到個槍嗰支接刀啊，指住嘰哩咕嚕，喐都唔夠喐咯，個老豆，你喐親你得掂咧？佢嗰支尾刀咁犀利，我哋自己都唔敢睇啊！
during the Japanese time, the only thing we are thinking is how to live. I've got so many brothers and sisters. One day, a Japanese employee came to our house. He put his grenade and the gun on the table. Go to the Kampitai office. I will give you a carton of cigarette. You will bring home for your mom. By force, he took our sister away.
有個女仔，你太冇話知啊！佢家講捉住你，你唔俾你阿媽當堂喺嗰度死喎，阿媽老豆都死喎，唔跟佢咯。
嗰啲軍你咩救佢走啊？佢係兵嘅，佢走10步啊，你半步都未喐到啊，因為佢唔熟，地頭唔熟，我哋熟，所以我哋俾得佢。
Jepun dia punya pandai. Selama dia itu, dia sambil kaki dia backup jatuh. Jadi dia punya tentang tapi tak dapat. Kita tak boleh macam kita nak kata kurang hajar, tak boleh. Cuba kena terbeling. Kampung kita dia kena satu orang. Tak dia lah. Sampai dia plan dia pun kita pun tak dengar. Pernah ada satu orang kemarin dia tangkap. Dia tangkap pasal kita pun tahu siapa bangsa terlalu. Dia tangkap, dia potong kepala. Kasih orang kita takut. Dia batu tu, dia gantung, bungkus. Kasih orang tengok. Itu dia yang takut tu. Jangan lawan, jangan cakap.
They kill, they rape. They stop at nothing. I cannot live under such a regime.
Yeah, I was a small boy. What made life interesting there were wayangs. The closest one once a year along Mandai Road, meeting Upper Bukit Timah Road, Woodlands Road, there. It was on the northern side, northeastern side of the junction.
隔離鄰舍同我哋講啊嘛，做緊大戲啦，啱我就問咯，今日做咩戲？講今日地招，聽日廣府喎，後日福建。我大行不如細啲講，你哋先去下，同我霸一笪地方，你同我霸位係咪？我要買嘢俾你食咧，又買嗰啲山楂，又山楂細粒，又咩事啦？1包5針住啦，大包咯。咁我坐喺中間，我用咩事揸住手咯？睇戲就咁樣，你我食，你食啦。有時睇楊秋百捉煙台嘅戲，我好中意睇。點解你識得睇咩？我食，你睇我係印度人。我話哇，你講得好靚啦！我講你咁樣，你喊我跟住你喊咧。
Yeah, before the war, the entertainment, we went to movies very occasionally, but I distinctly remember Cathay Cinema was the latest to be open, and I went there on a couple of occasions to see. Of course, those days they were all black and white films.
We used to go to Capital Saturday mornings. All of us, the children, need to go there to watch all the cartoons and whatnot. We watched all the comic things, Laurel and Hardy, Charlie Chaplin.
There was hardly any entertainment during the Japanese occupation, except for one, where the Japs invited us to see a movie at Cathay Cinema. And this was how they destroyed the US Navy at Pearl Harbor.
Itu kita dapat melihat wayang gambar lah. Pasang apa tu, kain putih rentang aja gitu. Semua datanglah, maklumlah tak pernah tengok wayang gambar. Filem Jepun yang selalu ditunjukkan adalah bagaimana kemenangan masyarakat Jepun. Satu perkara yang saya cukup ingat, sebelum permainan dimulakan akan ditunjukkan kartun di mana Winston Churchill sebagai Perdana Menteri British, ya, Inggris kita linggis, Amerika kita serika. Jadi gambaran bagaimana kartun tu melinggis Winston Churchill dan bagaimana Roosevelt diserika oleh serika tu. Jadi semua orang akan tepuk-tepuk lah.
Belajar pun apa yang kita nak belajar bahasa Jepun, lebih-lebih macam kita ABC dia I U.
咁我讀英文唔得喎，要讀日本書喎。咁我哋咁樣講日本話咯。而家我少少啦，識得講sayonara、obayo、obayimasu、arigatou gozaimasu。嗰3句都記得啦，全鬼窿都唔記得晒啦。佢哋俾嘢我哋要咁樣岌頭嘛。arigatou gozaimasu。
They made you sing every day the songs, and it took me years before I discovered that the song was sung in Manchuria, in a colony. I still remember the notes. I still can sing the anthem, you know. Kimi ga yo wa.
They had a national day where all the staff there's a flag raising ceremony where most of the hospital staff are together and of course face Tokyo to pay respects to the emperor.
冇得同埋上落落，我哋好似冇打仗嚟，我哋走去執菜咯，走去留白室。而家個留白室嗰度啦，嗰日我孫嚟我講，我哋嚟度執嘢咯，點樣執啊？我講留白室，以前做開冇車冇火車咩都冇攞呢嘅咧，嗰啲船冇，嗰啲船大隻，你有冇睇到？佢哋個支棍喺度咁樣推個船，推佢有可推嚟度咁啊咩啊，有魚啊菜啊葱頭仔啊矮瓜咁樣，一嚟到硬鄧嶺舊嚟叫紅燈碼頭，個名就叫做銀丁碼頭，就係碼頭咯。
My mother started making cakes, curry puffs to sell, and I started selling curry puffs. From Newton, I will go to Traction Company, Makepeace Road. First stop, Seneca Post. Next, I will go to Jubilee Hall. There was a Jubilee Theatre there.
So somebody told her, there's a factory. You like to work? I said, we so small can work. Can. Come. At the Indian Association, Salon Association, there's a big field. They put fencing, Japanese people. What we do, we cut pineapple.
Pernah kerja sama Jepun pun dia. Tak lama. Kerja cangkul-cangkul pasal ni Jepun tajam. Dia ambil itu batu lah dia buat senjata.
Life goes on. By that time, we are allowed to work with a Japanese company. Initially, they have no discipline. But towards the second or third year, we can talk to them. They were quite all right.
The Japanese Emperor's birthday, they have a concert. They will give us food. We sit with them. And they really miss their own children, the way they treated us.
佢不失啊，去邊度啊，嗰種佢哋企喺街啊，邊度同我哋岌頭咁樣啦。
We have a little bit of freedom. My mother can sell sarong and other things, make extra here and there. Then suddenly they surrender, and the whole thing is changed.
There were news through the BBC. Of course, it was a risky time to get the news, but we knew. The war was ending, and the Japs were surrendered. We knew about the 2 atomic bombs that were dropped, first in Hiroshima and then later on in Nagasaki.
We saw the British aeroplane. We could see, and we are shouting, between my butt like monkey. So happy, but never see a plane so long.
Thousands of half-starved English captives, victims of Jap brutality since the city fell in 1942, were discovered in several prisoner of war camps throughout the island.
All European, they got all them, I don't know where they came, put them there. So skinny. But we feel sorry for them. They carry a bag of sand or rice or carry on the head. Walk, big round, big walk and walk and walk and walk. So my sister said, poor thing, you see, skin and bones, skeleton. When Japanese surrendered, we are happy.
In the Admiral's cabin, the full humiliation of defeat is experienced by men who once thought the war was won when they got a quick triumph at Singapore. Act 1 is over. The surrender of Singapore is signed and sealed.
我跟我爸爸一起去那个工厂那边，我讲，爸爸，你看上面那个鸟这样大的在飞，很多鸟，其实那个飞机来的。哦，我爸爸出来讲，日本投降了。I went on my own bicycle from Tan Tock Seng Hospital to St. Andrew's Cathedral at Padang to witness the surrender. I was there climbing up the trees in St. Andrew's Cathedral to witness Mountbatten taking the salute.
The British Navy arrives in full force to hasten the relief of Singapore and to bring sorely needed food and medical supplies.
家 OK 啦，得啦，行得啦，出得啦，唔使驚啦。變咗以前女仔佬都唔出得嚟噶啦嘛，咁我哋而家出得去嗰邊茶鋪買個 B 啦。
3年8個月啊，它記在你腦裏，不會忘記。We welcomed the British, and not Mountbatten when he came. And in fact, we were very euphoric at that time. But soon after, we found that we could not depend on the British. The victorious British, they themselves were poor. They themselves had food rationing in UK. They had food rationing for several years, in fact.
Pada zaman PMA ya, waktu itu kampung kami belum lagi merupakan sebuah kampung yang agak membangun kerana maklumlah mereka kerja kuli, buruh yang gajinya sedikit saja.
Oh itu jam Singapura macam masa British. Kalau kampung-kampung ni semua rumah kampung semua tak ada perubahan lah. Jadi apa-apa kalau kita pergi laut, sungai, sampan-sampan tu semua pakai isu lagi ada. Lagi pun tak berapa bersih lah sungai-sungai. Sampah-sampah. Jadi orang ke laut ke apa semua.
那个时候还是殖民地嘛，英国政府，所以你根本就低人一等的嘛。你自己看是低人一等，你就要跟他们相配的，就是比较少咯。
All of us are nothing. They control. I got bullied. No face. Doesn't matter. I need money to raise my family. You see, even salary. Same job, I was $200 less. How do you feel like it? So you get bullied. But what to do? You have to make a living. Of course, the British, commercially, very strong. They were so strong. Have you ever heard the sun never set? You know how strong they are. But they lost Singapore. They lost everything.
The British can be defeated. They had a big empire, but they could be defeated. That was a lesson. And that the Chinese saw. The Indians saw, the Malays saw, all of us saw.
After the euphoria of the Japanese surrender to the Brits, conditions were slightly improved, but we had a lot of diseases. These were all caused by poor sanitation.
你以為屙屎嘅咧，窿中冇一笪乾淨嘅咧。
冇人講生細佬哥同閻羅王隔一張紙啫。
The nurse, she tied the bed sheet to the foot of the bed and made me pull so the baby popped out.
If I don't give birth to a baby, I don't have good food to eat.
厝歹去咯，你干嘛无通捡？要火你腿你就惊咯，你往哪厝袂着？
the local people's living condition was not well taken care of. Singapore is so tiny with so many people, with almost no resources. How can we survive?
We had to depend on ourselves.